This morning I had a dream, and in that dream I did some of that time travel that I've talked about before, where you kind of... You're making faces like something's going on. Is it making noises or something? Or, okay. Are you laughing at me? So I didn't know. I thought I heard somebody. So I don't know. But you know what I mean by time travel. I don't mean that you physically pick up and go somewhere, but somewhere in your mind, somewhere in your emotions, sometimes while you're asleep, that suddenly you are someplace and someone that you used to be. And this morning I had a dream, and in that dream I looked, and as I looked I saw this little kid, this child, where he was at in the back of a truck. And when I saw him, suddenly I recognized who that child was and who the child was with him. And it was just like I went back to visit, but it wasn't me. Amen? Amen. I was there when it happened. I was there at that point. I lived through all of that, but it wasn't me. It ain't me now. I look, and as I was looking, I saw a little kid that was living in a vehicle. We were living in a vehicle. It was probably 1968. We were living in a vehicle. During the day, Daddy would work, and we'd live in the parking lot. At night, in February, we'd go to live at the lake. Lake Worth, Dallas, Texas. And we'd go live at the lake. We'd go and we'd sneak in after they closed so you didn't have to pay, and we'd sneak out in the morning before they opened back up so that we'd have a place to park and spend the night. And it was cold, and we didn't cook. We didn't have anything to cook because you didn't cook. Didn't have a fire or anything. Didn't have camping stuff. One of the reasons I like having camping stuff is just in case that ever gets that way again. But we'd have things like tuna in a can and crackers and things like that, and that was what we ate. And that was what it was. And could have been worse. Could have been green beans. I tell you what, ain't nothing. Tuna in a can's not that bad. And as I was watching this little child, and I saw there was this two little boys in the back of the truck, and they were playing cars, and they were doing their little things, and they didn't even know they had it hard. They didn't even know things was bad. They had no idea. And I'm watching that child, and I'm thinking, here's somebody that's not even homeless. They're living in a car, which really, that puts you down below people who live in the motel, and down below people who live in the projects. You know what I mean? In the pecking order, And then I saw God. He just looked down on that little child right there, and when he looked down, I saw him looking, and I felt this overwhelming emotion of how in the world did God get that little boy from where he was there to bring me to where I am right now. And just total amazement at the grace and glory of God that he could do that with somebody that was you couldn't get much worse of a situation, and to bring that child that ought to be getting help to a place where he can help other people. To a place where we didn't have anything, and here we are giving out toys and toys and more toys. Here we are helping people that wasn't as bad off as we were. And the spiritual truth of that is even more profound than the physical. That here is somebody that did not know God. Couldn't find God with a Geiger counter. Couldn't find God with a God counter. Did not know anything about God. And God chose to not just preserve and not just keep safe or keep warm, but God chose to birth in that person what you see standing here. And somebody else may not think that's much, but you don't know where I came from. Amen. And that's what you need to tell the devil when he tells you ain't where you're supposed to be yet. Devil, you don't remember where I came from. Because where I came from, you didn't have a prayer. Where I came from, nobody wanted, nobody cared, and yet God